Hey there, money warriors. If you've been anxiously checking your bank account for that sweet $4,800 stimulus deposit, you're in the right place. I'm going to break down everything you need to know about the July direct deposit timeline. And trust me, you won't want to miss this because the window is closing fast. Before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe to stay updated on all the latest stimulus news and financial updates. Let me start with some breaking news that's got everyone talking. The Social Security Administration has just released their official schedule for the $4,800 one-time stimulus payment, and it's crucial that you understand exactly what this means for you and your family. This isn't your typical stimulus payment, it's a game changer for millions of Americans, especially those who've been struggling to make ends meet. Now, I know there's been a lot of confusion and misinformation floating around about this stimulus payment, so I'm here to set the record straight with the most up-to-date, verified information straight from the SSA. What makes this payment special is its targeted approach and the various payment tiers that have been established to ensure fair distribution based on individual circumstances. First, let's talk about the urgency of the situation. The direct deposit window is rapidly closing, and you absolutely need to act fast if you haven't already secured your spot. The Social Security Administration has implemented a strict timeline for July, and missing these deadlines could mean waiting months for your payment or, worse, missing out entirely. I've seen too many people leave money on the table simply because they didn't know the proper steps or waited too long to act. The application process has been streamlined compared to previous stimulus programs, but there are still some crucial steps you need to follow. The SSA has created a dedicated online portal specifically for this $4,800 payment, making it easier than ever to check your eligibility and submit your information. However, don't let the simplified process fool you. Attention to detail is absolutely essential here. Let's break down the age requirements, because this is where many people get confused. Unlike previous stimulus programs, this one has specific age-based tiers that directly affect the amount you're eligible to receive. The SSA has structured these requirements to ensure that those who need the most support get it, particularly focusing on seniors and long-term Social Security beneficiaries. But don't worry if you're younger, there are still provisions in place for various age groups. One of the most common questions I've been getting is about the payment tiers. The $4,800 figure is actually the maximum amount, and what you'll receive depends on several factors. The SSA has created a multi-tier system based not only on age but also on your previous Social Security benefits, current income levels, and other qualifying factors. I'm going to break this down in detail so you know exactly where you stand. For those wondering about the direct deposit timeline, here's the crucial information you need. The SSA has established specific deposit dates based on the last digits of your Social Security number. This systematic approach helps prevent system overload and ensures smooth processing of millions of payments. However, there's a catch. You must have your direct deposit information correctly set up in the system by the cutoff date to receive your payment in the first wave. Let's talk about the verification process, because this is where many people encounter issues. The SSA has implemented enhanced security measures to prevent fraud and ensure that payments reach the intended recipients. This means you'll need to have certain documentation ready when you apply. Don't worry, I'll walk you through exactly what you need to prepare and how to submit it properly. One aspect that's particularly important is understanding the income thresholds. These thresholds determine not only your eligibility but also which payment tier you fall into. The SSA has established multiple income brackets, and your 2022 tax return will play a crucial role in determining your eligibility. If you haven't filed your 2022 taxes yet, you'll want to take care of that immediately to avoid any delays in receiving your payment. For those who are receiving other Social Security benefits, there's some important information you need to know. This stimulus payment is being handled differently from your regular benefits, and there are specific rules about how it might affect your other payments. I'll explain exactly how this works so you can avoid any unexpected surprises or complications with your existing benefits. Now, let's address the application steps in detail. The process begins with accessing the SSA's dedicated portal, which requires creating an account if you haven't already done so. Make sure you have your Social Security number, a valid email address, and a phone number ready. The system will guide you through a series of verification steps to confirm your identity and protect against fraud. Once you're in the portal, you'll need to provide specific information about your current situation. This includes details about your income, age, and any existing benefits you receive. The system will use this information to determine your eligibility and payment tier. It's crucial to be accurate here. Any discrepancies could delay your payment or result in a reduced amount. The next step involves verifying your banking information. This is absolutely critical for direct deposit, and it's where many people encounter problems. Double-check every digit of your routing and account numbers. Even one wrong number could send your payment to the wrong account or cause significant delays. The SSA has specific requirements for acceptable bank accounts, so make sure yours qualifies. Let's talk about the payment schedule in more detail. The SSA has organized the July deposits into waves, with the first wave beginning in early July. Your payment date will be determined by the last digits of your Social Security number, similar to how regular Social Security benefits are distributed. However, there's a crucial deadline for having your information updated in the system to be included in these initial waves. For those who missed the first wave of payments, don't panic, there will be subsequent waves throughout July and August. However, it's important to note that the later waves may have different requirements or additional verification steps. The key is to get your application in as soon as possible to secure your spot in the earlier payment waves. One aspect that's particularly important to understand is the documentation requirements. The SSA has specific guidelines about what documents are acceptable for proving your identity, income, and eligibility. This might include your tax returns, Social Security benefit statements, and government-issued ID. Having these documents ready before you start the application process will save you time and prevent delays. The payment tiers are structured to provide different amounts based on various factors. The full $4,800 is reserved for those who meet specific criteria, including age requirements and income thresholds. Lower tiers might receive $3,600, $2,400, or other amounts depending on their situation. Understanding which tier you fall into will help you plan accordingly and avoid any disappointment or confusion. For married couples, there are special considerations to keep in mind. The SSA has specific rules about how couples should apply and how their combined income affects their eligibility and payment amount. In some cases, both spouses might need to submit separate applications, while in others, a single application will suffice. I'll explain exactly how this works so you can ensure you're following the correct procedure. If you're wondering about the timeline for actually receiving your payment once approved, here's what you need to know. Direct deposits typically appear in accounts within 2 to 3 business days of the scheduled payment date. However, this can vary depending on your bank and when your application was processed. Some banks might even make the funds available slightly earlier than the official payment date. For those who have changed banks recently or need to update their direct deposit information, there's a specific process to follow. The SSA has implemented a secure system for updating banking details, but it's crucial to make these changes before the deadline to ensure your payment goes to the correct account. I'll walk you through exactly how to update this information safely and effectively. Let's address some common concerns about eligibility. Many people worry that receiving other benefits might disqualify them from this stimulus payment. The good news is that in most cases, other benefits won't affect your eligibility for this payment. However, there are some specific situations where adjustments might be needed, and I'll explain exactly what those are. One question that comes up frequently is about dependents and how they affect the payment amount. The SSA has specific guidelines about how dependents are counted and how they impact your eligibility and payment tier. This is particularly important for families with multiple dependents or those caring for elderly relatives. For those who don't have direct deposit set up, there are alternative payment methods available. However, it's important to note that these alternatives might result in longer wait times for your payment. The SSA strongly encourages direct deposit as the fastest and most secure way to receive your payment, and I'll explain how to set this up if you haven't already. Security is a major concern with any financial transaction, and the SSA has implemented robust measures to protect your information and prevent fraud. This includes multi-factor authentication, encrypted data transmission, and regular security updates. Understanding these security measures can help you protect yourself from scams and ensure your information remains safe. If you encounter any issues during the application process, the SSA has established several support channels. This includes a dedicated phone line, online chat support, and local SSA offices. However, due to high call volumes, it's important to try the online resources first and know exactly when and how to seek additional help if needed. One aspect that's often overlooked is the impact this payment might have on other benefits or tax obligations. While the stimulus payment itself isn't taxable, there are certain situations where it might affect other aspects of your financial situation. Understanding these implications can help you plan accordingly and avoid any unexpected issues. For those who need to make corrections to their application or update information after submission, there's a specific process to follow. The SSA has established procedures for making changes or corrections, but it's important to act quickly if you notice any errors. Delays in correcting information could result in payment delays or other complications. Looking ahead, it's important to understand what happens after the July payment window closes. The SSA has provisions for late applications and special circumstances, but these cases may be subject to additional scrutiny and longer processing times. Knowing your options if you miss the initial deadline can help you make informed decisions about your application. Finally, let's talk about what to do if your payment amount seems incorrect or if you encounter other issues after receiving your payment. The SSA has established procedures for addressing these situations, and understanding these procedures in advance can help you resolve any problems quickly and effectively. Remember, this $4,800 stimulus payment represents a significant opportunity for many Americans, but the window for direct deposit is closing soon. Taking action now and following the correct procedures is crucial for securing your payment in the July distribution. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Make sure you understand your eligibility, gather your documentation, and submit your application as soon as possible. And there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know about the July direct deposit timeline for the $4,800 stimulus payment. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates on stimulus payments and financial news. Drop your questions in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them in upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.